dealing with interactions. The RBI as a regulator can't pretend to be an ostrich. It can't put its head down and believe that it has never happened. There are issues that are plaguing India's public and private sector banking, and the RBI chooses not to speak about this. I think as a career banker, and of course as a former central banker, you are absolutely right that this needs to be spoken about. But I also want to take your attention to the difference of opinion between the RBI on one hand and the government on the other as far as regulatory powers over PSBs and private sector banks are concerned. The governor said legal powers of RBI between PSB and private sector are asymmetric, and he left it at that, and then Mr. Vishwanathan came in and kind of tried to supplement that answer. I mean, can he just leave it at that? Obviously, this requires legislative changes, but New Delhi has already said he has enough powers to regulate. Can the health of India's public and private sector banks, and let's just talk about public sector right now, be a ping-pong ball between New Delhi and Mint Street? Governor blames the government for not having enough control. The government says you have enough control. Is this how we are going to see banking happen in our country?
I think there is already a strong debate going on that, and we have been hearing arguments and counter arguments. There may be few areas where there can be overlap, but as far as the supervisory remit is concerned, I don't think that it is that one area where the overlap can in any way make it difficult for RBI to implement what it considers a right step to be taken. As far as other areas are concerned, I have always felt, I think there is a need to be a structured kind of system whereby there can be a regular interaction between the RBI and Government of India periodically. Not that the interaction it does not happen and these dialogues are there, but if it is a structured process, I think many such issues could be sorted out, and this situation would not come.
No, absolutely. I can't agree more with you, but you're essentially saying that the excuse that we don't have enough supervisory powers, and which is why something like a PNB could happen because there was duality of control, is not reason enough. That's essentially what you're saying. But do you also believe the RBI erred in not talking about the controversy that plagues ICICI Bank? Do you believe that the RBI should have made a proactive statement? Because there are two kinds of questions that are coming. That did the RBI actually question ICICI on this loan? If they did, why are they silent? And if they did not, then why did they not act on the whistleblower complaint that came way back in 2016, on which the government also has a lot of questions to be answered? Mr. Mundra.
Supriya, I think here we are mixing up few issues. Number one, we have to, to be fair to RBI or to be fair to any regulator, we have to understand that any regulatory process cannot really completely duplicate the audit or inspection or supervision activity which is happening in individual entities. To believe that with all the banks which are supervised by RBI multiplied by their number of branches and the activities taking in every branch can be duplicated by RBI, then I think RBI becomes a super banking corporation of India and no other banks are needed. So I think we have to put our perspective very clear. Any regulatory oversight is always focused on picking up some direction of risk, then bringing it to the notice of the concerned bank. Every bank, every banking institution is expected to have a 3-line of defense within their own system. It occasionally happens. It occasionally happens, not only in India, anywhere in the world, that sometime there is a simultaneous failure of all the lines of control, and this is the outcome. So that's the one part of it. But as far as the other, the ability to supervise the banks with the existing provision, I think there is sufficient ability which is available. As far as your question about the other bank, which you say that you should have made a proactive statement, let's understand that presently the issue is under investigation by several agencies. There are several processes which are going on. In such a time, till you have all the facts at one place, to make a proactive statement, I don't think that it would have been possible for RBI at this stage. But yes, had there been a question which is coming or which has been allowed to come, then probably it would have been possible to throw some perspective on that particular issue, and that would have been good to bring certain clarity in the mind of market participants.